Yo, YouTubers. This is a serious rant. Well, actually a very serious message. I hope you don't mind. Bruce, roller coaster ride, drinks Holston pills. Because what it is, I did this video earlier on my small gadget with my headphones and my little microphone thing, and when I watched it back, the sound was no good, and I'd done like half an hour or something speaking, and the video was, I couldn't use it basically. So I thought, oh, I've got to do it again, and it's Saturday night, you know what I mean. So I thought, right, I'll get a bevy because it helps me speak a little bit more honestly, you know what I mean. It's a truth drug to me, yeah. Because what I've got to say, I think is very important. Now, I apologise, folks. I'm trying to, I know some people out there might think I'm talking too fast and that kind of stuff, but I just want to get the video over as quickly as possible. So you've got to, bear with me if I'm speaking too fast, like. But I've got some things to reveal. Just talk about basically that I think people should know about and people should get onto. I'll just pour myself a drink anyway. But apologies, I haven't made many videos lately and speeches and stuff. I've been commenting on YouTube, watching videos and things, but I haven't been able to do anything because I've been working in a peanut factory, right? Basically, doing some temporary work. They call me every now and then. I'm working next week as well, you know what I mean? And I do shift work and all kinds of stuff. All my cameras going out of focus. Right. Because the lighting's not too good in here. Well, anyway, I need to have a beer so I can do this again. It's the second time I've had to do the speech today, so I thought, sod it, I'm going to have a bevy and I'll be able to talk a little bit freely, okay. Cheers, folks. I assure you, I'm not an alcoholic yet. Well, Well, anyway, one of the most important factors in this particular speech, right? Like I say, I've been busy working and stuff, so apologies to anyone out there who's thought, where's Bruce gone? Has he disappeared or whatever? And look, I've grown my hair back again, so I'll be shaving it off again soon. I'll be shaving my head again soon. Well, anyway, the point is, because I've been working and I've been in amongst the public, just working with ordinary folks, you know what I mean, working class people, just working in a factory, guys. I stack boxes up of peanuts that go out all over to shops all over the country, like. But working for peanuts, and basically, oh, my phone's going off. Anyway, I'll try and get this speech out the way. Basically, I spotted a couple of strange things. Spot being the word, but this speech is basically all about how the so-called charities for cancer research and stuff like that are basically ripping people off, and if there's still no cure for cancer apparently, right? Unless you got these mad tablets or whatever that cost thousands of pounds or whatever, I don't know. But interesting note, right? No member of the royal family in history has ever died of cancer, right? And the reason being is because the authorities have created cancer. It's a man-made spell. It's a spell to make you, if the doctor tells you you've got it, you might not even have it. But if it's in your mind, it's in your body. Do you understand? I think the same goes for AIDS as well. I think a lot of people that had AIDS didn't really have it, you know what I mean? Once the doctor said to them, you've got AIDS, we've just tested your blood and you've got AIDS, so, I think it goes for a lot of things, you know what I mean? Because if the authorities want to cut down the population, they'll use illnesses or wars or whatever to get rid of us, us poor folks, yeah? While I was working in this factory, I seen a couple of mad things that made me think and that, and I've always knew these things, but I kept it to myself, do you get me? Because I thought it's a bit of a controversial subject. But bearing in mind, my mum died of cancer, and so did my dad. Both my parents died of cancer, right? The usual deaths in the family are usually old age, right, or heart attacks, right? But in recent years, I've been noticing an increase in people getting cancer all of a sudden. They might have smoked or whatever, but I still think it's man-made. I think it's generated man-made, right? I'm going to prove it to you, or try and prove it to you. If you don't believe me, it's up to yourselves. But anyway, to start off, I think the diseases are put in us, right, when we're children, when we go to school, right? And one of the things they use is they put things into our eyes, right? Our eyes are the windows to the soul, obviously, right? Now, we all know that the flesh and the body and everything is below the soul. The soul is more important, right? But we still abuse ourselves and eat the wrong foods and do all kinds of mad stuff, do you know what I mean? In the case of AIDS, it was sexual promiscuity. You didn't have to be a homosexual or whatever to get AIDS, did you? You know what I mean? But, I think these illnesses are like a kind of hypnosis, right? I'm going to prove it, right? Now, I remember back in school, I'm 50 now, right? I'll be 51 this year. And I remember back in school in the 70s, and in the late 60s and early 70s, we had to go to school. Otherwise, our mums and dads would have been taken to court, or arrested, or fined, or whatever, and then we'd still have had to go to school. So it's compulsory, isn't it, right? For starters, that's got alarm bells ringing in me, knowing that people haven't even got the right to decide whether their own children stay at home all day or go out into these buildings we call schools, right? Check out my speech about the sweet tin and drugs or whatever on my channel, if you for some interesting facts about schools and churches and things like that, right? About indoctrination for drugs. But anyway, when you're in school, you'd be sitting in your classroom doing your work, which is bad enough, looking at blackboards, learning the alphabet, counting 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 1 is 3, all them things they put into our heads, numbers, letters, sentences, calculations, mathematics, English, physics, blah 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 blah, history, all the rest of it, right? Well, I remember when our lessons used to stop and we'd go for an eye test. Now, I did a speech on my old channel about having to wear spectacles when I didn't want to wear them, and I didn't need them. I could read, I could write, I could read my books, I could read the writing on the blackboard, but this optician still insisted that I should wear spectacles, which I didn't. I rejected it, right? I'm 51 years old and I don't wear spectacles still today, right? So is that an argument beaten straight away, right? I didn't need them, so they were wrong, right? They were putting them things on my head so that, I don't know, they spy on you using them or something like that. I don't know. Well, I sort of know, but I don't want to go into that subject at the moment, right? Excuse me, right? But any folks out there from England or Britain who went to school in England and Britain, we used to have these eye tests. And what they'd do was, it'd be like a sort of, a periscope, like this plastic thing with lenses, or it reminded me of a periscope, like the thing on a periscope that you look through like that. So there's no light coming through there, so you're forced basically to look in at these things on the screen. And it'd be like little, puzzles, little things, and they'd say there'd be a low, and they use colours a lot, guys. They use the, colour coding and subliminal, right? Are you with me? I don't know, right? But the point is, and the woman who was examining us or giving us the eye test, she'd say, and don't forget, this is not just me, this is all the kids in the class, right? We'd all have to do it, yeah? All the kids in the whole school, basically, yeah? And he'd say to you, can you count the spots on the screen? How many green spots are there? and you'd say like, you know, so you'd be like, and obviously you've got to look at these flipping things, haven't you, and count or whatever, and you'd say like, 4 green spots, and they go, oh great, yeah, correct. Which, and then they say something to you like, put another one on the screen, like say, which balloon is the nearest one to the camera? You know, which balloon seems to be the closest one to you, and which one is the furthest away? And you'd say like, the orange balloon, number 5, is the nearest one, and the green balloon, or the purple balloon, number 8 in the background, is the furthest one away, and the orange one's the nearest one to me. And they say, right, okay. And they put a little cross or a tick on a piece of paper as if to say like, well, he got that right, or you know, he didn't get that right. You know what I mean? Whatever, you know, the circumstances. And there'll be one. It'll be like loads of little dots. Now, bear in mind what I'm saying here, folks, because I'm going to show you something in a minute. Like loads of little spots, right? What we call spots, right? Little dots. And it'd be like all multicoloured, like. But say if you were colourblind, you couldn't see the hidden word. You couldn't see the writing in it or whatever. And it'd be like, or a number or whatever. You know what I mean? It'll say, can you identify the hidden number in these spots? And if you were, you know, you had your normal eyesight or whatever, you'd see like a number 9 hidden in it, or a number 10, or a word, potato, house, car, whatever, like hidden in amongst all these spots, all multicoloured, yeah. And you'd say like, oh, it's a number 7 or number 8, and they go like, oh, he can see that, like, so his eyesight must be sound, or he's not colourblind, right? Are you with me, right? So that's the point in our history when we're children, right? When they get us when we're kids, for, you know, they nab us when we're children. Do you know what I mean? They take our eyes and they make us, and they do the same thing with our ears as well, don't they? They put a thing on us and they go, when you hear the beeps, say whichever side it is, raise your hand. So you get a little tiny faint beep and you go beep, and you go beep, and you go like that, and it'd be like little frequencies, you know what I mean? It could be different as well. It sort of go doot doot doot. But the cover up is they're telling us that they're testing our ears and our eyes, right? So you know what they say. The devil, when he takes someone's, you know, when he tries to borrow us, like, he uses our eyes and ears. We are his eyes and ears. That's a familiar term I've heard in amongst all this madness, right? So, bear in mind, guys, we've got this memory. I don't know how many of you out there be like my age group and remember those plastic things we used to look into, and they were quite, like, technical, you know what I mean, for the day. They weren't like computer graphics or nothing. They were just, you couldn't buy them in the shops. You can't get them anywhere else. They were only in the medical profession. Do you understand, guys, right? So years later, as we get older and we all start getting our illnesses or whatever, or we say something against the royal family or something like that, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm not being malicious. People shouldn't take it personal. I'm being anti-authoritarian or anti-establishment. It's not, I've got no vindictive hatred towards any members of this or that, but I know what's right and what's wrong. Do you know what I mean? It keeps going out of focus for some strange reason, you know what I mean? I need some more light in here, like. So are you with me so far? Does any of you out there, I don't know what it's like in America, I don't know what it's like in Europe, I don't know what it's like in Australia, but all I know is we had these horrible things we used to have to look into, like, and like I say, they obscure you, they completely surround your viewpoint, so that, like, you can only, you know, you've got to look at the colours and the spots on the screen, right? Which brings me to this, right? I discovered something this week in work, while I was in work in the canteen, you know, just casually, you go into the canteen, you sit down, you get your coffee and that, like, and you know the way they put posters on the walls and that for, like, people to donate money to charity and things like that, right? All the people in work, they're all just innocent folks, obviously, you know, they're not like, you know, we're not all like millionaires and that, like, but bear in mind, folks, that none of the royal family have ever died of cancer, right? You know, hold on, I've just got to put another light on, try and make this a bit more, the focus. Oh. Should be a little bit better. Sorry for the delay, folks, you know what I mean? I'm trying to do my best there, like. Okay, I got a bit more light there, should stay in focus. Right, so, bearing in mind, none of the royal family have ever died of cancer, right? And let's put it this way, right? Because it must be the people behind them, or behind the authorities, that create the illness. It's a man-made, hypnotic state of mind. If someone tells you, you know, hypnotises you, and tells you you're a horse in the Grand National, you'd be like jumping over fences like a horse, trust me, you know what I mean, if a hypnotist is good enough like at what they do, like. So why don't formal commands and things that doctors say to us and nurses, like I say, the optician told me I was you know, I needed glasses, but I didn't need them, right? I didn't take it, I didn't listen to what they said. So when they tell you you've got an illness, that's usually the case in my opinion, unless you're genuinely ill, you know what I mean, you report yourself, but where does the illness come from in the first place is my question, right? And a lot of it comes from television, right? Now, while I was in that place, you know, I'm just gonna, it's like hard to get this together because it's such a complicated issue, like, but I've watched that, you know, like, the point I'm saying is, the royal family, right? If I was the only man in a town of 1,000 people, right, say there was me and 1,000 people in town, and I was the only person that owned a gun and a load of bullets, right, I'm never likely to die of gunshot wounds, but any one of the other 1,000 people couldn't he? Supposing I go off on one and shoot any of them, right? But it's impossible for me to die of gunshot wounds unless I shoot myself. And not many people want to shoot themselves, do they? You know what I mean? Obviously, especially the authorities, you know. Right? And bear in mind, lots of famous people, lots of movie stars, lots of actors, lots of actresses, they've died of cancer too, right? But they're not royals, are they? Right? It's usually old age. I mean, look at the Queen now. She's like the longest serving monarch, apparently. I don't know how long she's going to carry on, like, but she certainly didn't get cancer, did she, folks? You know what I mean? And there's loads of people who've died of cancer, folks, that don't smoke. You know, there's no, you don't have to say, you don't have to smoke, you know, to get cancer, like. But the point is, right, do you understand what I'm saying? If I'm the only person with a gun, I'm going to, like, shoot everyone, or shoot a couple of people, or shoot 10 of them, or 100 of them. But I'm not going to get shot myself. I'm not going to die of gunshot wounds. I'm going to die of something else, natural causes, old age, or whatever, the usual business, right? Have you got that, like, right? So, where do they put the illnesses out? Television, right? Now, there's loads of facts here. I'm trying to, like, piece, because I haven't got it written down, folks, yet, right? Now, when you watch television, if it's national TV, right? If there's adverts on that channel, like let's put it this way: if you're in Britain and if you live in England and you watch Coronation Street, right, you're gonna get confronted with adverts halfway through the programme. Or there's, you know, the most popular bloody soap opera in our country, in the world probably. The most popular soap opera in the world is probably Coronation Street, right? Which happens to be one of the channels that puts adverts on. And I noticed when I was sitting in my brother's house, because I don't watch the TV, I don't watch the normal soap operas and all that anymore, I don't watch any of it. My mum was addicted to them, this is what I'm saying, my mum died of cancer, do you know what I'm saying, like? But anyway, I noticed the adverts in between the soap operas, or any other popular programme like a big movie or anything like that, right? These adverts come on and they'll be like, I mean, one of them was like, it was for cancer research, right? And I'm going to show you a couple of little things about cancer research in a minute, right? But one of these adverts will come on, and you hear a woman's voice or a Freemason's voice saying, like, you don't feel too good, you're not sleeping right, and then you go to the doctor and he tells you, you've got cancer, Now, just think about, right, now, just think about if an advert is on television, right, using those words, using those very words, not me, you know, I'm just telling you what it says in the advert. If an advert on television shown to millions of viewers, right, millions of viewers all over the country or even all over the world, they hear the words saying, "You've got cancer." What's that doing to our subliminal mind? You know, because we're all onto it on YouTube, aren't we, what subliminals are and stuff like that. But those words, like hypnosis almost, someone's saying, "You've got cancer" on television, because we don't say it to each other, do we, guys? We don't go round talk, we don't sit in a pub or, you know, go to work and everything and we all go, "Alright, how's it going today? You've got cancer." We don't say that to each other, do we? We wouldn't dream of it, like. But these adverts do, don't they? Right? And you've got to remember, the pharmaceuticals and companies that make drugs and the chemotherapy and all those things, they're all making money, you know, every time something's sold or something's used, right? So are you with me so far? If an advert is going to go out on television, national, say when we're all watching Coronation Street, which my mum used to watch and that, like, you know, most of the housewives in this country watch it, like. If you see an advert comes on, it's got that sort of trickery in the wording, like, you think, like, your subliminal mind could get cancer in the mind, couldn't it? Like, so it starts working its way, but it goes back to when we were kids, right? It goes back to when we were kids in school, and they've made us look through that little thing and they're saying, count the dots and all that, like, or tell me which coloured circle is nearest to you, or which coloured circle is the furthest away, or can you identify the hidden number in these dots and that, right? Because it's something to do with dots and spots, right? And this is how I know, right? Because while I was sitting in work, like this week, you know, I was in the canteen, you know, some of the members of staff put, you know, they're trying to raise money for charity, for crying out loud. They're not actually on it themselves. These are just innocent people who say, like, "I'll volunteer to help this charity and that. I'll put a poster up in work," you know what I mean, to try and get some donations and that. Where's the money going? Do you think it's going to curing the disease? If the disease still exists, right, and we've had cancer research and Macmillan, you know, Macmillan nurses are there to help you. Macmillan nurses are there to help you through your suffering. They don't say, you honestly read the small print on the posters and stuff and whatever, it says like, "We'll be there with you so you don't need to suffer alone." They don't say, "We'll be there to help cure you and get rid of this terrible illness." You know, think about it, right? I'm going to show you something in a minute on the screen, like, well, you know, got paused on my video, like, to get the point across, right? There's this thing about spots and coloured dots, like, that is kind of part of the spell, right? So we're all kids in school, we get told all this, like, say, and it's like, say as we get older, I start listening to the Sex Pistols or listening to "God Save the Queen" by the Sex Pistols or something like that. You start thinking, we've got to get rid of this guy. Activate the cancer, you know what I mean? Like, right. So they'll use the code words and whatever and the spots and all that, like, right? And to prove it, right, I goes into the canteen this week and there's this poster on the wall, and I'll show you the picture of it in a minute to prove it, before they get rid of it to destroy the evidence kind of thing, yeah? And it's just like an innocent thing for, like, the workers, and it said, like, spot, you know, the word "spot the cake." Right, and I know there should be people out there who work in that, like, that have seen what I'm talking about, right? But I will show you in case you don't believe me, right? Spot the cake, right? And there's this poster with a picture of a cake with loads of spots on it, right? And they could have all been blue spots or brown spots or purple spots, but no, they're multicoloured. They've got, like, it's like a clever use of colour. It's subliminal, guys. It's like there's something in our brains that responds to, you know what the people say, red makes us feel comfortable, you know what I mean? Blue makes us feel cool. You know, we've all got these codes in us. It's all part of, like, just being human beings, you know, that, you know, we've all got it, like, right, but so they say, this poster says, it was a picture of a cake, right? A real photograph of a cake with all these little coloured dots on it, like it, but it looks like computer graphics, right? I'll show you the picture in a minute in question, like. But it says, like, now think about it. If I wasn't, I'm not interested in that stuff because I'm way ahead of it. Like me as a person in that workplace, right? I just sort of walk past that and think, I'm not falling for that one. It's Macmillan or whatever. Like, yeah, but the average person wouldn't think like me, and they might just go along with it, yeah. So they go up to this poster and it says, "Spot the cake," and even the word "spot" is written in a different colour to the words "the cake." It's two colours. It's like purple spot and green the cake. The words "the cake" is in green, and the word "spot" is in a magenta kind of purpley colour, right? And I'll show you in a minute. But it says "spot the cake," and what the idea is that the average person just walks up to it and they say, and it's impossible to count the spots. You know what I mean? It's impossible to count it unless you take a photograph of it or something. Like, you're not really meant to cheat, are you? And you pay your money, you pay like your couple of quid or whatever, or your pound or whatever, to the person who's put the poster up, like. And you write your name and that, like. And you say, I reckon there's like, you're supposed to guess, like, you know what I mean? You say, I reckon there's like, 120 spots. Write it down, you know what I mean? Someone else writes it. And whoever gets the answer right gets a little prize. Right, but meanwhile, all the money collected goes to Macmillan to help cure cancer patients. My ass. More like to help keep the shite going, like, to make more money, like, because someone's making money out of it, aren't they? Let's face it, like. And people are still dying of cancer, aren't they? Yeah, right? But the point is, if the poster says count how many spots there are on the cake, or guess how many, what are you going to do? Like school with the thing, you're going to go like, you've got no choice, have you? You've got no choice. Everyone in that workplace is going to walk up to that poster and look at it and start thinking, counting the dots on the cake in the mind, if you like, you know what I mean? Subliminally trying to work it out, saying like, well, it's like, I don't know how other people would do it, like, but if it was me, I'd say to myself, well, let's say that square centimetre, there's an average of like 5 spots in that square centimetre, and the cake is roughly about like, say, 20 to 30 square centimetres, so blah, 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 do the maths and that, like. But the thing is, all the spots on the cake are all different colours. So I reckon that, like that thing that what we look at in school, it's colour-coded to put, like, it's killing us. It's giving us cancer, basically, guys, but we don't see it. Obviously, none of us will think of it because it's a charity saying, give your money to help cancer, to help people with cancer and to help, like, us find the cure for cancer. Like, you're not going to think it's them doing it, are you? Obviously. Bearing in mind that the royals never die of cancer. So, okay, I'll show you the illustrations now, alright? Just move this light out the way. So you know what I'm talking about, that I'm not waffling on just being a madman, like. I mean, I didn't do this on the earlier video. I didn't show any pictures or illustrations because I didn't have it prepared. But I've done it now, you know what I mean? Because I want to get this video in the bag. And I want people to realise, because if there's adverts out there telling everybody they've got cancer, they're going to get it, aren't they? So here's my reverse spell to the whole matter. If you're watching this video, you haven't got cancer. Cancer doesn't exist. Cancer's been... you don't need a cure to something that doesn't exist. And I don't want your money neither. I'm going to cure cancer, get rid of it and break the spell. Because most of you people out there, if you've got any sense to watch my videos in the first place, like, you know what I'm saying, like, there's no such thing as cancer. But anyway, I'll show you the poster anyway, so you know I'm not like blagging, like, Right, I've got to take the camera off the tripod. Okay. I don't know why I bother, Well, here we go. Here it is. Spot in magenta. Look at the colour of the writing. The cake. Look at all the arrows and that. Look at all the little chevrons and... look. We are Macmillan. Oh, the coffee. Oh, let's all get together and celebrate this stuff. But there's the cake. There's the cake. Right? If you look close, can you see? Green, magenta. They've got this thing about green and magenta, right? Look at that. This is just a load of pictures based on Macmillan, you know what I mean? But look, see the colour code. See the colour code, spots. But look, you're supposed to count all. Well, you're not going to count them, obviously. You can clearly see. There's way too many for anyone to count, isn't there? You know what I mean? You're not going to stand there counting every. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No one's going to know all these, so you can't fix it, like, right? And then what you're supposed to do, look, you put your name there, and you guess. You see? See where everyone's like wrote the name. That this is randomly. I've took that randomly off the internet. Right, that's not the actual poster that was in my works, but it's obviously all over the country. There's probably millions of people all standing there looking at this bloody thing, trying to work out how many spots there are, right? So that's the actual poster, right? Right, and the mad thing is, just the crazy thing, right, all the public out there, right, have responded to it, right, because you can pause it yourselves, you can go back and pause it and look at that picture again if you don't believe me, right, but this is the weird thing, right, all the public, these are all photos when you type in Spot the Cake Macmillan, right, just type in Spot the Cake Macmillan, all these photographs come up, and these are all things that the public are doing, contributing to the whole cause, look. They're all making cakes. There's someone's actually made a cake. No one should face cancer alone. Look at that. They put Smarties on it and that, like a nice real cake. It's like cakes taste better together. There's that picture there, Spot the Cake. I'm not kidding you, look. Right. The whole country's doing it. Do you understand, folks? The whole country is doing it, right? And another thing I noticed, they're advertising it on the radio. The coffee mornings and that, because I have to listen to the radio in work, you see. I see things while I'm in work that I wouldn't normally see, because you know me, guys, I'm like, below the radar. I don't go along with the media, right? But to make matters worse, right, if you don't believe me, then I'm imagining this, like, when I say about the spots, like, it's very important, guys. I want someone out there to respond if they watch this video and you got any sense in that, like, that when you were a kid in the 70s or the late 60s, those gadgets with the coloured spots and everything, like, because I'm sure that's where they put it into us, the seed of it, you know what I mean, the source of the trigger. And then an advert comes on when we're adults and it says, like, I'm going to cancel that and say, no, you haven't got cancer, you know what I mean? Look how you spell cancer, guys. C-A-N-C, and that's the most important thing. What's that? E-R Elizabeth Regina. Do you know what I mean, guys? And then this is another thing I found, right? Do you know the charity, so-called charity, Cancer Research UK? Have you seen their logo? Guys? Well, let me show you. Have a guess what it is. Cancer Research. Look. Any strange quotes there? Oh, there it is. There's their quote. One day, research will beat cancer. I mean, Yeah, yeah, right. They're gonna research and find the cure, like guys, yeah, because they won't, so they can't collect money off people anymore, Joe Public anymore, with their posters and their campaigns. But look at the logo. What do you see? What do you see? You see a load of bloody coloured spots, don't you? Right. I mean, am I imagining this, or what, am I the only person on earth that spotted this, like, right? But this is another interesting thing, right? That's for cancer research, yeah, right? So every one of us that looks at anything to do with, seemingly, whenever we look at posters or anything to do with that illness, right? We're seeing coloured dots, aren't we? But this is something I discovered by accident. By accident, right, guys? In search of legal highs, because I do, like, I'm partial to having a little toke of weed or whatever from time to time, yeah, like, don't tell Her Majesty, like, you know what I mean, because she might arrest me, like, but, so I went round looking for sites, because I didn't want to buy weed anymore, I wanted an alternative, yeah, right? So I found this place in England called Coffee Shop, and they sell legal highs. You can't buy illegal highs. Obviously, it's all legal highs. You know what I mean? Well, this company called Coffee Shop, right? It's nothing to do with cancer research or anything like that. But people who go on the site are bound to smoke, aren't they? They're bound to put stuff in pipes or spliffs or joints or whatever. Like, yeah. Well, check out their logo, guys. Am I imagining something here or what? Like, look what it is. It's a load of coloured dots. Look at that. There's something in the spot, guys. Look, that's what it's called. The UK's #1 head shop. And look, they've got all them fucking things as well. So, am I imagining it like, right? Okay, so I'm going to try and wrap this up as fast as I can. So, I am accusing these people, right? All these, like, strange organisations and that, right? Of putting the illnesses out in the first place. I'm sure of it. I'm sure they're all in it together. You know what I mean? But I was like thinking, I'm not like being funny or taking the mickey or anything. I was thinking everyone in that place who were in the canteen and work, because it's a busy factory, you know what I mean? A lot of people work there, like, they're all standing there looking at the dots going like, I'll get it back on, like, so you can, so, you're not imagining this, like, they're all standing there innocently in a canteen. Remember, they're not like going into a doctor's surgery or going to hospital or like being scientists trying to research cancer or anything like. You're just going to work, working in a factory, and we see this poster on the wall that says, "Hey, spot the cake," count the count the dots on the thing, like, and it'll probably give you cancer, won't it? You know what I mean? Look at it. How can you count the spots on that, guys? But you do have to look at it, don't you? You've got to look at the poster with your naked eye. So I think there's, like the way that I've always said, there's a magic geometry in the money. The money that we all spend. Then there's some kind of dark magic in those things, man. That's sort of like, I think they put the illnesses out, because once it goes into the eyeballs, right, there's not much we can do about it, is there, unless we're strong. We might have God on our side, helping us out, giving us a bit. Because I think God tells me everything, guys. When I go off like a barking dog. when I go off like a barking dog telling everyone to, watch out man, there's an intruder about, or be careful of the business, it's gonna kill you, I'm just telling people the truth, yeah, right. Bearing in mind, no one in the royal family has ever had cancer, because the guy with the gun ain't gonna die of gunshot wounds. You know what I mean? Right, and my last final point is, these creepy adverts, man, right? When you watch these adverts, I don't know, you've got to check out British television, watch ITV from England or whatever, or watch Coronation Street or something like that. I don't mean like watch it like proper and get into it, I mean like, just to see what I'm talking about with the adverts in between. Because we know the Freemasons run all the adverts and all that, right, guys? And I saw an interview with someone once, and he said, when we put a big film on a television channel, like say Star Wars or something like that, you know what I mean, or Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever, they're not actually trying to get the viewers to watch the movie, because we can go out and buy the movie, can't we? We can go out and buy the DVD. Not all movies are corrupt, you know, guys, you know what I mean? Some directors out there are actually trying to entertain us, yeah, right? We all know that, right? But some films are corrupt to fuck, you know what I mean? Like 50 Shades of Grey and things like that, right? But the point is, the reason they put a big movie on the television channel at a certain time when everyone's going to be watching is so that you see the flipping adverts. And they could be for two reasons. To sell something, like a car, whoa, the latest Mitsubishi, oh, the latest Toyota, the latest BMW, whatever. Selling products to the rich folks, right, who can afford it. And the other reason is, some woman or some female voice with a creepy piano. They always have a piano in the background going, doo, with like a massive echo on it. Like, I've always noticed, I've watched all these things, or like, charity adverts, Oxfam and things, where you see like African kids crying because they're starving, and it'll say, this child will not live unless you pay for water and food. Send your money to help these children live. They're not going to send the money to help the people, the charities. Some of it might go to the charity, some of it might get sent out, but most of it, it's going in someone's back pocket, you know what I mean? And when they say, send your money to help us cure cancer, fucking hell, do you see any cure for cancer, guys? Because I don't. It's not, especially not affordable or instantaneous. I know there's like alternative medicines we can all use to avoid things and that, like, but if the authorities want to kill us, guys, they're going to kill us, you know what I mean? If I'm targeted and I'm going to die, you know what I mean? They're going to kill me, like, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck, to be honest, like, right? But I care about other people, if you know what I mean. And it's not just adults get cancer, you know, guys. There's adverts on lately on the radio saying, help us beat teenage cancer and whatever. They're actually throwing it into kids as well, for crying out loud, right? So, I don't know. I'll just leave you on that the television programmes, when they put a big film on, or a big movie or something like that, the aim is to get everyone to see the advert in the middle, and those adverts could be telling us, we're all dying, couldn't they? I mean, it might not. It could be. There's other illnesses as well. They say, like, cystic fibrosis, lung cancer, or brain disease, or I seen one. There was one a while back on British television for strokes, and you see a woman actually having a stroke in the advert. Like, you see her face going all mad like that, saying strokes, they can happen anytime to anyone. They're saying it, not us. The people who are putting the adverts out are saying these things. You've got cancer, you could have a stroke, you could have a heart attack. And they butter it up to make it look like they're trying to help you. But they're not. They're actually creating it because the big pharmaceutical companies are going to collapse, aren't they, if no one needs the drugs and that, like, you know what I mean, for starters. And people are going to live a lot longer and things like that, start enjoying life, isn't it? So, So you haven't got cancer, you haven't got cystic fibrosis, you haven't got psoriasis, you haven't got dry scalp, you don't need to go to the opticians and wear glasses, you don't need to buy this, you don't need to buy that, and certainly don't give money to the charity that's bullshitting you all along, But anyway, I think I've done enough. I don't know. Am I wasting my time here, guys? Is this a bit of a mind opener? I don't know. So I'll leave you with that one anyway. But like I say, I haven't done many speeches recently because I've been working and stuff, and I'm trying to save up to go and do a run. That's a bit, to be honest, like, because I'm a bit bored with life, you know what I mean? Things are getting me down and that, like, and all kinds of stuff anyway. But anyway, thanks for watching, if you've watched throughout the whole extravaganza. Go back, freeze the pictures, check them out, or check out yourselves online, you know what I mean? Type in whatever words, like, you know, and you'll see what I'm saying, like. But they've got this thing about colour codes, haven't they, guys? You know what I mean? It kind of triggers things off in our minds and stuff, like. Let's get on with it, innit? Let's give them it back, isn't it? Let's give them it back. You know, no one's curing cancer in my world, you know what I mean? We're going to have to get rid of that world, aren't we? As a, you know. Anyway, God is awesome. That's all I'm saying. God is awesome. Because it's God that tells me all these things, guys. You know what I mean? I don't work this out for myself. He points it out to me and says, "What do you think of that, Bruce? That's a bit strange, isn't it?" And I'll go, "Yeah, Lord, whoa, yeah, there's something not right here." But these people don't know, because most people aren't believers, you see, guys. It's a minority. Do you understand? It's a minority, like. But anyway, keep the faith. And I'll wrap it up anyway. And if you think this speech is okay, and give me a thumbs up, give me a bit of support, because my channel's, I feel like I'm on a desert island. You know what I feel like, guys? You know, because everyone's using iPhones lately. That's another eye-catching. Remember, iPhones. Everyone's using them things, yeah, right? I refuse to use them. You know what I mean? But you know what I feel like? You know when you're standing at a bus stop with like 20 people. You're standing at a bus stop and it's packed and there's about 20 people, right? And then a bus comes along that you don't want to get on, like, but they all want to get on it, like, and they all get on it and the bus goes off and you're still standing at the bus stop on your own. That's how I feel in the world lately, because everyone's using iPhones and I'm not there with them. I've refused to jump on the bus with them, do you get me, like? And I honestly feel isolated because of it. But I ain't changing, I'm staying where I am, do you know what I mean? I'd rather be on my own, being myself, than marching along with the crowd. Do you understand? I'd rather stay on my own and get on with it, or even walk instead of get the bus. You know, I'm feeling like that lately. And I've got a speech to do about Catholicism and the Vatican next, if I get a chance. About the, you know, the structure, the building, the Vatican and that, like, some interesting facts about that, like, to try and persuade people to stop going along with the Pope. You know what I mean? Loads of people all like, while the Pope was in America, they were all like going, "Oh, he's amazing, oh, isn't it fantastic?" And I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing, guys. I really can't believe it. You don't have to go along with it, do you? You don't have to get on the bus, like, you can, like, have a bit of individuality and decide for yourselves. But if people aren't doing that anymore, should we even bother? Should we try? But I've got, like, a bit of message, a serious message about the Vatican, guys. Which it'll take a bit of a while just to explain. I could have added it on to the end of this, but I'll leave it, like, because I'll try and get this speech out tonight if I can't. It's already, what, 10 to 9. So I've got to do all the rendering and all that stuff anyway. But, okay, I think I've said my piece. I think the cancer charities actually created it. I think the authorities have created cancer. It's a man-made thing. They're trying to put it into everyone. Anyone that speaks their mind or whatever, they try and get rid of us, you know what I mean? But who gives a fuck, innit? Like, because I couldn't care less what happens to me, like. Well, you know, there wasn't any cancer in our family before these last few years, guys. You understand? It was all kind of like heart attacks and old age and other things and that, like. It's all in recent years this has started appearing, like. But everyone that got it, they were all telly addicts, guys. All my relatives who kind of get, like, falling into that category, they were addicted to television, you know what I mean? They were watching all them adverts all day and night, like, without realising it, what was going on, like. So we've got to do something, haven't we? We've got to pray or something, I don't know. We've got to do something, haven't we, guys? You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I've got to keep the noise down because the neighbours might complain. Cheers. Ba 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 ba.